Now I've got another videographer. I've got Isabella, who's now laughing at me. And so I just wanted you to see what it's looking like. So just take a look. Isabella, are you actually seeing this? So take a look. See, these are about the size of them. So it's kind of like one spoonful. But because I did it really quickly last time, I just wanted to make sure that you saw sort of what I'm doing. I just grab a little bit and then just roll it in my hand like this. And that's about the size of it, okay? And then it's down like that. Okay, catch you in a while. Bye. Okay, so just before we put these things in the oven, I just wanted to make sure you saw the difference between, we actually had about a pound left over of meat. So we actually made some of the large meatballs, which by the way in Italian, polpette, right? So this is a large meatball, and this is what you would do in spaghetti, right? If you are a meatball lover. And this is a small one, which is what we're going to be putting into our lasagna. So large meatball, small meatball. I just wanted to make sure you saw the difference, okay? See you in a bit. Okay, so here's what we're doing right now. So these just came out of the oven. These were 15 minutes at 400 degrees, and they're perfect. And by the way, they smell fantastic. You can't get that, but they smell absolutely fantastic. So number one, we're just gonna let these sit for just a little bit. Typically, by the way, what I might do is just simply put a little cloth on top, because I prefer to not have all that grease. But if you'll notice, what I've done is I put it in the rack so that a lot of that grease, as you can tell, just kind of like drips out to the bottom. So these really look pretty good like that. Sometimes with the big ones, it's not quite the same way, so sometimes I'll just simply dab them on top. So that's number one. So if you remember the steps, we took care of the meatballs first. These are the meatballs. The second thing that's going to happen is we're now going to be talking about the actual stuff that goes into the lasagna. And it's just real simple. So, and I've got it all prepared so we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. But this is the ricotta, and this is the ricotta that I use, which is really very, very strong. It's really good. And so we're doing, for us, 2 containers because we have 2 trays. But in your case, you just simply do 1 container of this. You would also do 1 container of the mozzarella, shredded mozzarella. I'm going to be doing 2. You would put 2 eggs, and the ingredients, by the way, I'm putting on the video, so don't worry about the measures, but you're actually going to have, in this case, I have 4 eggs, but you would be putting 2 eggs in there. You never forget your salt, so there are a couple pinches of salt in there. And then you've got the Parmesan Romano Asiago, and you have a little bit more parsley. Only thing I'm going to do, and we'll do that off camera, I'm just going to mix all these in, and I'm just going to squish it up, just like I did the meat, and get that ready to go. Now, and I'm at this stage, which is stage 2, and it's at this point that I get, over here, so I'm now going to get the lasagna just about ready. So this is almost boiling over here. And as this starts to boil, I'll be prepared with lasagna noodles to put it in. And you'll see later it just becomes so much easier. If you do have a pot that has a strainer, it just becomes so much easier to deal with the lasagna when it actually comes out. And then the final thing, of course, I do not use any type of meat sauce. I only use the Milanese, which is the non-meat sauce. And for that, you've got the sauce that I did the last time I did one of these things. So that's the one that you can actually use for this, and you'll see how I spread it into the lasagna. Okay, so I'll be back in about a few minutes. See ya.